TheOdd1sOut or is it TheOdd1sOut? Okay, it's the name is rather confusing. I didn't really know that much about him until recently, and it's honestly confusing to me because I'm pretty sure he's one of the most popular animators on like all of YouTube. Him and Jane Animations and Domix and stuff like that, they were just so popular all together, and I don't know why it took me so long to find this one, which makes no sense because I swear everyone knew who he was when I was so confused. Okay, well, I think his name is James. You guys will have to correct me if I'm wrong because I'm just trying to go off what you guys' comments were and stuff like that. I actually discovered him rather recently. It was probably maybe 6 months or 5 months ago. Was the first time I saw one of his videos, and I saw them before, like I would see them like recommended and stuff like that, and I've seen it, like his image, but I never actually placed the two together and realized exactly where they came from until just more recently when I started my channel. Let me see. I think the first time I actually saw TheOdd1sOut is, if I'm saying his name even wrong, I'm sorry. Trust me, I'm a noob to this. But anyway, the first time I saw him, I think, was on Instagram. And you see, I don't know if he has an Instagram. I think it may have been a repost of like one of his little comics. He makes these little, like, you know, those relatable sort of short comic sort of things that people do online. Those are what I've been seeing, and I think they're made by him. I would assume so because it looks a whole lot like the style of his little cartoony character. So that's what I think the first time I saw anything that was by him. I didn't know he made comics and stuff like that. Well, I mean, I knew he made comics was the first thing I knew, but I didn't know he made YouTube videos and stuff like that. So when I discovered later, I found this video by him that was him reacting to people reacting to his videos on Kids React. So yeah, it's kind of confusing, but that was the first thing I actually saw. And then I started looking at his videos and I realized they're really funny. I didn't know that that video type of video, you know, like the story time little animations, was so popular and like so many people were doing those things, and I didn't realize that. And I know he's probably one of the first ones to be doing it, so I feel really bad about like not discovering him that well until later on. Though I guess that's bound to happen sometimes. I just don't know how that happened, because honestly, I've seen him on trending multiple times, and I should have realized who he was really soon. Though I did discover him once I started noticing trending, which trending used to be different in the past, so now that it's like this more different way, I probably noticed it more. I don't know. I can't explain it. I have no idea. But a lot of you guys, after I drew Domix, you guys, and Jane Animations, you guys were posting for me to draw him, TheOdd1sOut. I'm trying my best. Can I just call him James? I should probably call him James before I mess this up really bad with the names. But yeah, that was the first time I noticed him, like, again from you guys. I realized, oh wow, this guy, I keep forgetting about him. I'm like, why though? It's like, this is so stupid, because it makes no sense how I could possibly, because he's so dang popular. Like, he's incredibly popular. Like, how did it take me that long to realize that he was one of those popular animators? And it took me entirely too long. But once you guys start commenting, I realized, oh right, I totally need to do that, and I totally need to check out his videos and actually get in that, because there's so many cool animators. And honestly, I feel so bad because a lot of the ones I've been drawing, I didn't know anything about them until you guys mentioned them. So I did know about this guy before you guys mentioned him, though. I did know about him because I saw some of his videos, like after I saw that one with the reacting to his reactions and stuff like that. I did look at a couple of his videos, and I did see some of his comics, so I did know about him. I wasn't entirely in the dark here. Like, a little bit, but not entirely. So it wasn't as bad as it could have been. It wasn't like other ones where I didn't know anything about it at all before going in. But when I first started seeing his comics, as you guys know, I used to be obsessed with comics as a kid. So that's what it first reminded me of, because recently on Instagram, it's become real like cool and popular to have these like relatable comic things where people like make these little short comics, but then they make them something that people can relate to, and people are like, oh, I relate to that, same. And then they like it, and that's what's real popular right now. And I've been noticing a lot of those, and that's also where I see TheOdd1sOut rather often. But I don't know if he has an Instagram. honestly, I'm not entirely sure because most of the things I've been seeing have been reposts from other people, so I don't know. You guys will have to let me know, since you guys, I'm sure you know so much more about him, since you guys are like such big fans. You guys mention him all the time, so you guys will have to know so much more about him than I do, for sure, because I know nothing. I'm so sorry about that, but like I said, I really respect this guy, because I can tell how much work goes into those videos, those animation type videos. I mentioned this in Jaden Animations and when I drew Domix. Those videos, and Wolfie those videos are just so much work. I can only imagine how much work goes into those videos, but I'm glad they get so much recognition, because I could not imagine doing that much work and then not getting any recognition. That would be so discouraging. So I'm glad they do, and I'm also glad they're getting on trending and stuff like that, because that's such a big deal. And honestly, I really respect people like this, because like I said, I love animating and I would love to be able to do that one day. And it's just encouraging to me, be able to think that I could do that someday. But like I said, as a kid, I was obsessed with comics, and I used to draw these little comics of characters that were Hammy and Taro. I uploaded a couple of them to the channel, so you guys probably remember. They weren't good, to say the least, because I was young, but I also couldn't spell worth a darn. I couldn't spell at all, and I was entirely too old to be spelling that badly. But yeah. It was really bad. I was probably like, I think it was like 9 to like 12 or 9 to like 11 or something. I was drawing these Hammy and Taro comics, and I couldn't spell at all. Like, I would spell everything so wrong, but hey, at least I was trying, and it was probably good for me to learn. I started learning spelling mostly playing video games, because I know it's a really weird way to learn, but actually video games taught me a ton that I wouldn't have realized otherwise, because I didn't have social media. So I didn't have a bunch of people like correcting my grammar and being like, your argument's invalid because you spelled this wrong. And then I would have been like, dang, my argument, I gotta go fix it. So I gotta go like spell things properly, but that's not how it worked with me, because I didn't get social media or even a phone until I was 18. So I was really late on that. Like, I did not have a smartphone for the longest time. Everyone would look at me like I was crazy. I'd be like, I don't have a phone. And it was during the days of smartphones being necessary. Everyone had a smartphone. And I was sitting there like, I don't have a phone. Like, I was weird, okay? I mean, I was like way too old, though. I'm also kind of glad I was kept away from social media and stuff like that, because there's some really evil kids online, and I probably would have been like scarred for life if I would have gotten on social media and then met some of these kids, and they would have been just so mean, and I probably would have just like, oh my gosh, that would have been so sad. But so I was glad I escaped that much. But being older on social media, you like people making mean comments, it's not exactly the same, because you have to learn to just ignore them, I guess. Even though I know it's so easy to say ignore them, but no one truly ignores them entirely. No matter how many times someone says they ignore them, a mean comment that hits them in a spot that's like sensitive, it's still going to bother them, even though they say they ignore it. So, I mean, everyone tries their best, though. So it's important to try and ignore those mean comments, because everyone's going to get super mean comments, especially once you start getting any sort of recognition at all. There's gonna be a whole lot of rude comments, so you just gotta expect that, especially if you're planning on doing something like YouTube and stuff like that, where you're putting yourself out there. If you put yourself out there, you're gonna get a whole lot of mean comments, and you just gotta expect that. You just gotta focus on the nice comments, which is a lot easier said than done, because there's a lot more of nice comments than there are mean comments. But no matter how big the ratio is in difference, you're always gonna notice the mean comments more than the nice comments, and I don't know why that is. Probably because mean people are more loud. Who knows? That's just how it is. But yeah, it's important to try and move past those things. And I'm rambling, I'm sorry. But yeah, I hope you guys like this drawing. I had a lot of fun. I'm sorry I couldn't do sketching. I've been skipping the sketching filming because I have some like company over and I've been super busy, but I'll get back to that and make sure I film my sketching more often. Thank you guys so much for watching.